Welcome back to the Business Blast, brought to you by Satco, satco.com, right? If you're an electrical distributor and you don't have Satco in your line card, Greg, what are they doing?
They're not doing the right thing. Zatco does the right thing. They do the right thing. Go to them. Check them
That's
out.
right. So we had a super popular podcast on the Business Blast, one of the original ones, which was about biases.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
And I'm going to give them to you in order and how they work. Okay. And I'm just going to tell you
Okay.
how they work. And then I want you to identify perhaps a ballast. See, I'm a lighting guy. What do you want? A bias that you've succumbed to in your career. Ready?
Hmm. Intense. Yeah.
So here's how the bias process often works. Something happens. Okay. And you think the solution is this. You fall ill to the conviction bias. Okay. So
Hmm.
you believe that this is the answer to that question, and there are no other options, no other arrows in your quiver except this solution. You're a hammer, everything's a nail. Okay? That's the conviction bias. The conviction bias leads to the confirmation bias. Okay? So then you're only looking for information that confirms that bias. Okay, so you start with a conviction, you move to the confirmation, then you start convincing everyone around you as the boss of your company or the leader of whatever, and that leads to the group bias. So, because the boss believes this and has so much conviction and so much evidence, I mean, you can trot out statistics to prove anything. Look at the world we live in today. Everybody has statistics, right? About this and that. How many of this, right? So then the group that you're with begins to share your conviction. Okay? This leads to a cascade effect, okay? Which is a type of bias. So then that group think conviction confirmation bias starts to cascade through everything you do, okay? Leading to the problems. The problems start to leak out. You have some leakage. There's evidence, there's undeniable evidence that what you're doing is not right. But unfortunately, there's one more of those nasty little biases that kicks in. You know what that is?
Hmm.
The status quo bias. So these are all known human psychological conditions. This is not my idea. These are known. I didn't come up with this on my own. So it goes conviction, confirmation, group, cascade, status quo. And those biases can lock you into a trajectory that you can't get out of. And it all starts with the conviction, Greg Ehrich. You
Okay.
declare your belief, undying belief in something. Okay? So you
Hmm.
believe that this is a huge problem that needs to be solved, and you've found your evidence, you've convinced everyone around you, that idea has flown through your whole company, and now when the evidence starts to pile up against you that everything you're doing is wrong, the status quo bias bites you in the ass. I can't change. I can't. I'm rigid now. Has this ever happened to you?
Yeah. I mean, can you get out of it? You can get out of it, though, right? I mean, you're not saying you get in this and you're locked in, right? I mean, I can get out of it. I've got an example, but I mean, I feel like I
Okay.
can get out of it.
Do you
So
want me to answer
is
that
that not the
question?
right example?
Yeah, well, that's called leadership, right?
Okay.
The only way you can get out of these situations is not with technical people who are under the influence of the group effect.
Got it.
Okay? Not with scientists or people or advisors or whatever that have succumbed to the confirmation bias,
Hmm.
who are afraid to admit they're wrong, right? So you start having leakage, right? There's obviously clear evidence. We're going to deny the evidence. We're going to deny the evidence. We're going to deny the evidence. This is a trajectory towards disaster, my friend, for every business.
Well, let
And
me
yeah,
Yeah, let me tell you one that, I probably have, and just about every other lighting distributor has, probably including yourself at some point. but you and our organization is tackling this issue head on, is Kelvin temperature and exterior lighting.
Woo!
You start off with what was the right move? It was 5,000 Kelvin. It's bright, it's white. Your yellow lights are nasty. Your metal halides are nasty. Everything's gross. You want to make it bright white so that you can see at night.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to blow that light out.
What comes
And
next?
I still so that's my conviction, and I'm confirmation.
Yeah,
5K is the right move.
yeah. You get
Yeah,
confirmation from
like
the
of course I
DLC
did
because
one.
it's on the
I did one.
QPL, right? It's on the
Yeah,
QPL,
yeah,
right?
yep.
Yeah, there's a
You do a
confirmation.
project, you
Oh,
see it. You hear the customer say, "It's so nice. It's so bright."
yeah,
Okay, and then I tell the group, right?
yeah. Then everyone starts talking. This is a great example. Yeah, everyone
Yeah,
starts talking to everyone else. You got to do those LED 5,000K lights. It lights up the whole yard and the street
looks
across
nice.
and the person's apartment across the street.
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
believes, right?
yes.
And then what happens?
And then you got your cascade effect. Is that the next step?
Exactly. There's a cascade
Yeah.
effect next, right? So now that
Mm-hmm.
everyone's convicted, everyone's confirmed, and all the group is on board, it cascades all through everywhere. Perfect
Yeah.
example, right?
Yep.
And then, uh oh, there's some leakage. Uh oh, the beetles are dying. Who cares about the beetles? The birds are flying into buildings. Ah, they can fly over there.
I
They're
have
actually,
5K in stock. I
yeah,
got to sell them.
I,
That's right.
yeah, well, they're on discount.
Yeah,
They're,
they're
they're blowing them
available.
out, right? Status quo bias.
Yeah,
Isn't that exactly what happens?
that is. And that's what's happened in this example.
It's
Perfect. Right down the
so
line.
difficult. Do you know why it's so difficult to get out of?
Why?
Because people do not want to admit they were wrong. They made a mistake. They don't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to say that we screwed up. We made everything worse. That the societal benefits of energy efficiency are not sufficient to justify this. It's not sufficient. It's not enough. We should have kept it HPS until we knew what we were doing. It was motivated by narcissistic thinking. It was motivated by do-gooder, change-all environmentalism. The traditional lighting people were kicked to the curb by Johnny-come-lately and the lighting marauders. They knew it all, Greg. They were disrupting the lighting business. Creative destruction. Yeah. With a 10-year warranty. Sucker. Sucker born every minute. Let's not be suckers anymore, folks, in this industry. Let's change it up. Change our thinking. Get out of this damn status quo bias. It's gross. There's nothing more pathetic than sitting in the status quo bias. You know what another one is? We're
What's
hot
that?
right now. I was at a job site the other day doing a it was a big mask wearing extravaganza of competitors. We talked about it on another show.
Yeah. Yep.
And the lady that was running the business came up and said, I have a whole bunch of old 8-foot tubes that we haven't thrown out for years. And, I just I would love to see them to get them recycled. Can we include that in the project so that they're managed properly? And one of the electricians goes, that's all crap. Nobody recycles them. Everybody just takes them and throws them in the dumpster. There's no recycling. That's just BS. What are you talking about, buddy? Get a grip. I was so angry. I
Yeah.
went to the lady afterwards. After everyone left, I went after her and I said, look, that's not true. You want to capture that mercury. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
These status quo biases are disgusting. Disgusting. They make people look like fools, too. Don't be a fool. Go to satco.com. That's SATCO.com. Light thing, right thing, especially if you're an electrical distributor.